Hey guys, today we're going to do an unboxing and general assembly video on the Fatal X and the Fatal X RDC crossbow from Killer Instinct. So first and foremost, we're going to open this up and we're going to get the product that's inside the box. So first what you're going to find is a quick start guide. Now keep in mind this video does not replace reviewing your instructions or the quick start guide. This only helps support the instructions that we already provided for you. So your quick start guide, that will come in on top. Now the Fatal X, we did all the hard work. Everything is assembled from the front end standpoint. You don't have to worry about fishing cables or doing anything crazy from an assembly standpoint. We also have a box that has all the parts that are required for assembly. And then underneath, you'll find your scope, quiver, and 3 premium hyper bolts. So from a parts standpoint, you're going to have your adjustable buttstock, your adjustable forearm piece, your grip, your foot stirrup. We'll have a hardware pack that has a couple of set screws. And keep in mind, this hardware is also called out in your instruction manual as well too, if you have questions on which is which. You have a bolt with a washer. The washer is very important when assembling the grip. 2 screws and a nut. And then you also have 3 screws for your buttstock. And then lastly, inside the pack, you also have your instruction manual. You'll have your rope cocker, some rail lube, some field points for your crossbow bolts, and your quiver bracket. What's also nice about this is we do provide all the needed Allen wrenches for assembly. From an assembly standpoint, it makes it really easy to actually put the crossbow right on its back. And usually what we'll do is we'll work from the front to the back. Now assembly is fairly easy, and for the purpose of assembly, I'm also going to just have my Allen wrenches. Like I said, it does come inside the box for you as well too. You have your foot stirrup. Now note there's a couple of notches on the bottom of this foot stirrup. It's very important that those notches face you from an assembly standpoint, or the bottom of the crossbow. And then just required an 1/8 inch Allen wrench. And these Allen screws back right into the bottom of those notches that we pointed out. Those should be practically flush. Next, we're going to go to the forearm piece. Now this forearm piece is adjustable. Slide this on. And before fastening it, you can pick kind of the position that you would like to set it up in. So on one side with the round holes is where you install the bolts, and on the back side is where you install the nuts. Usually what I like to do before I tighten one down, I just get both of them started. You're going to grab your 5/32 Allen wrench. And you're going to want to tighten that down fairly tight. That will clamp that forearm piece to the rail. Next, you're going to take the same wrench, you're going to go with your grip. Now it is important that the flat washer does go on the mounting bolt. And what I like to do is kind of set that screw up through the hole first, put it onto the trigger box assembly. That tightens down. You can tell your grip will be firm. Now, if you have the Fatal X with regular adjustable buttstock, the RDC version that has the built-in crank mounts exactly the same way. One thing we wanted to call out on the Fatal X with RDC for assembly of the buttstock is that when you plug it into the back of the receiver, make sure that your hooks are spread enough that the cord itself doesn't get caught or kinked at all when installing the buttstock. When mounting the buttstock, there's 3 screws. There's a larger screw that will require an 1/8 inch Allen wrench that goes on the bottom. And before you tighten it down, just line everything up first. And then you also have 2 screws, 2 smaller screws, which requires a 3/32 Allen wrench that comes in from the side. Again, getting all 3 screws lined up first before tightening them down final. And you just want these snug. You don't want to over tighten these. This is fully adjustable. But you can also find the position that is most comfortable for you. And then you can also tighten down the side. There's a little side screw. And that makes the buttstock even more snug for general use. Now that we have general assembly completed, we're going to show you how to mount the quiver bracket and the scope. So for right-handed shooters, generally you would want the quiver bracket mounted on the right side of the bow. For left-handed shooters, you would have the quiver bracket mounted away from you on the left side of the bow. Note, for a left-handed shooter, the bracket that the quiver mounts into needs to be remounted on the other side. So from here, we're going to take this, put the crossbow on its back. So if you have your forearm mounted forward, lots of times we prefer the quiver bracket to be mounted right behind it. And you would use your 5/32 Allen wrench to tighten that down. Now if your forearm piece was mounted farther back, you could take your quiver bracket and slide it forward and mount it anywhere on the rail forward. For mounting the scope, your scope is going to come with a 3mm Allen wrench inside the box. Sometimes you may have to loosen the scope ring screws and reposition these slightly to get the correct spacing on the scope rail. From here, we're going to pull off the scope ring mounting nut. And one thing we wanted to point out is that these little bases, in case they come off and you wonder which way, how they mount, the bases have a thin side and a thicker side. The thin side is going to go on the bottom, and that's going to clamp to your rail. From there, you're going to find the position that's going to give you the most comfortable eye relief. Lots of times we'll mount the screw on the 3rd notch going forward. Clamps on the bottom. And you can take a larger flathead screwdriver or even a quarter to really kind of tighten these down so it's solid. Lastly, before we get into shooting the crossbow and sight it in, it is important that you do visit our website to register your crossbow. You're going to need your proof of purchase, your serial number that's located on the sticker on the inside of the limb, and that's going to start your warranty and help you going forward if you need any other additional support. If you have any questions on this video or instruction manuals, please contact our customer service.